Today, huh?
Should I start in at one?
Yeah, let everybody in.
Yeah. You woke up early.
So how do you say the cable bill line at option B? This song is the hardest song. Yeah, kind of.
Ready to do? Go.
Hey, who's got TikTok? We gotta get a TikTok in here. What's going on, Roy? This is it right here, man.
Hey, what's up,
That's all
man?
we gotta do, man. Oh, yeah, yeah. Anyway. Let's go! Forget sales call. We're getting dance instructors, Pilates. I need to see some videos. You all are getting the boot. Please believe me. Please believe me. I can't wait to first out on sales call. Let's give me a get your mind right day. Nothing to do. Get your mind right. That's what using my sales coffees are. They turn into rants about getting your mind right. What are we in 9? 9-3? How are you saying? Right? Yeah, that's September 30th. Jesus. Is there a microphone here still? A microphone, please. All right. Okay, let's see who we got here. Who we missing here, Edgar? They're gonna get tarred and feathered.
Where the fuck's Matt at?
Hey, watch that language, buddy. Where is Matt though? Alejandro. Damn, bro, where are you, Matt? You in like a damn car shop? Is that for real? No, that's a filter. What the hell's going on over there? I'm gonna give everyone a few more minutes here. There we go, Zach McCurrack. Tell me that dude's name rhymes. I'm gonna have a field day with it.
Right, it's like senior grade.
Jennifer, you look so official. If you ever hopped on a Zoom for me and my union benefits, I'd buy anything you're selling. That headset.
Well, then
that
why
hair
can't
on
you be, why can't you be every sit I have? That's what I'm manifesting. I'm manifesting you for every sit.
Where's this remote so we can hear?
Conversation said it's gonna be a 24-year-old carpenter. from Pennsylvania.
What'd you say?
She wants every single one of her ships to be a 24-year-old carpenter from Pennsylvania.
I'm
Yes.
25.
I know, I'm talking about Bigfoot and the carpenters.
Vincent the Carpenter Jr. is 21, buddy.
21, they're whatever.
21. I have only been here for 12 months. All right, this looks like everybody up in here. Indira, I still have no way of. Oh man, talk about watching our swear words. This makes me want to swear. This scanner is still not connected. The only thing I can do, Indira, is I can hand. You know what? All right. So here's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to just send you like the first 4 pages. I'm just gonna have to send you like a scanner app on my phone type thing.
Okay, that's totally fine.
That's all you need in a life insurance policy typically is just those first 4 pages. At least of the universal one that I have, it will show you everything you need to know about it. Maybe a little bit later in the policy, the only other thing you'll need to access is like their cost of insurance page, but I'll send you that as well.
Okay, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a good topic to go over too. That's a really good topic, but I didn't have plans on that. I had plans on going over the rate book. So next time I do sales coffee, we can do universal meeting financial advisors, but I feel like I did a lot of sales coffees on that already. But either way, guys, just keep in mind, these are all on YouTube too. Every one of these is on YouTube. But today we're going to go over the rate book, and at the very end, I'm going to open it up to some questions. I just want to show you guys some rate book stuff. So if you guys can get your rate books out and make sure that you have those. Zach, I'm gonna need your, yes, go grab your rate book. Zach, I'm gonna need, here's one right here. Just don't mess it all up because it's brand new. And if you already got one, we don't want to be, you know, burning all the other ones. Who knows, man? We got a big stack of these, but sometime next year we might have none, and you know, no one knows we need more, and then all of a sudden we're running around with no rate books. But okay, cool.
Will these rates ever change throughout the years, like 2019 to 20 to 21 to 20?
Yeah, that rate book used to say 2001 CSO on it, not 2017. So the rates were the same for like 16 years.
They changed.
They actually used to be better. Yeah, they used to be Select Life used to be cheaper, and it actually used to offer you more cash value actually.
Why did they change that?
Economy, money, outlook on the company's financial stability and what's going on in the world and the markets. But that is for everybody. That 2017 CSO is for everybody. That's a thing that all life insurance companies get. When those are updated, every life insurance company gets updated on their rates. That's a risk pool. That's a data pool of how people are dying in America, what they're dying from, the typical life expectancy. You know, that's what determines the cost of insurance and everything. Zach, I'm gonna give you a third warning, brother. Get your video on, or I'm gonna kick you. I'm gonna boot you.
Is that those risks? Is that something done by the government, or is that done by a private agency?
That's federally done, I believe. There's probably I think it's a federal agency that does that. That look over all those and control those. But guys, basically today I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of magic in the rate book about paid up options. And how you could, you know, how you could have somebody pay more now, but get more later. Pay more now to actually pay less later and get more back. Okay, so let's say you guys run into a POS, right? And let's say this POS has, let's say he has a $100,000 whole life policy that he got when he was 35, right? Let's even say he got it when he was 40, for what it's worth. Okay, who can tell me how much that's going to cost somebody, a male non-tobacco user to have $100,000 a whole life at 40 years old. First person to guess gets $20. $20 awarded to you. No, I'm kidding. All right, how much?
$135.42.
$135.42.
You still also owe me $10 for calculating.
42. I don't owe you nothing, Sheila. Don't make me pull out all the other things. No.
Ben, sorry to
$135.
interrupt. So sorry to
yes, ma'am.
interrupt. I'm having a little bit of trouble seeing the board. I don't know if it's just my screen. What are the numbers on the board currently?
Yes, let me fix that for you. I'm glad you told me. What can we do to fix that?
Just move it.
Turn off the lights.
It's either closer or the lights get off. It's one or the other. Is that better at all?
I try moving it.
I have a-
close.
Do you have a fresh dark marker, like a fresh black marker? Because it just seems really light.
Hey Mo, since you're late, buddy, can you go grab me a black marker?
The black markers in the supply closet are ready.
Wait. Never mind, Mo. We got one. Never mind, Mo. Still want to make sure. Come on, late boy.
Yeah.
All right, lock you out. Yeah, brother. $100,000. Does this work better, guys?
Much better. Thank you.
Awesome. 40-year-old male, non-tobacco user, $135.42. You sure that's right, Sheila?
that's
Looking
right.
at select light, 40 years.
All right. Okay, so let's say you come and visit this gentleman and, he's let's just say he's like 50 years old now, right? I'll write this over here so I don't get in the way of my math. Let's just say you visit him nowadays, you come back to do a policy owner service, and he's a 50-year-old male now.
Okay.
I don't know what my phone's blowing up for. I hope someone else in here isn't having issues.
Sean just ready to.
Sean is blowing up,
Okay,
bro.
Sean is sure to do.
Okay, Sean, not at the mill today.
There we go, brother. Let's go. It's probably about to hop in. Okay, so you come to this guy, right? And let's say this gentleman's needs analysis, his funeral is gonna be $50K, right? And then, debts, I don't even care really, unless he does about the debts. Let's just say he's got 20K of debts there. Loss of income, really it would be, for an older guy like that, I would honestly look at loss of pension a lot of the times. Like if you're talking to someone that's above age, like, 55, and they're like, oh, I got my retirements, I got my pension, like I don't really, in the next 10 years, I'm not really concerned about while I'm working, like I don't think I'm gonna die and really need a loss of income. And it might be true, so I'll switch to loss of pension because most pensions in the US, there's only like 4 or 5 different ways to set them up. And talking about federally regulated things, pensions are something that's federally regulated as well. There's like a pension organization. It's like some 5-letter acronym that like is in control of administering all the pensions and keeping them solvent and protecting the workers from, if this pension goes under, like still getting them something. But basically, guys, they'll give you like 6 or 7 ways that they can pay out when you retire. They'll give you a packet. It'll be like, the normal way is you get 100% when you're alive. You get 100% of what you're owed, whatever that defined benefit is, 3 or 4 grand, right? The second way is, or let's stay on the first way. You get 100% while you're alive, but when you die, your wife gets only 50%, your spouse gets 50%. The second way that people usually take it up to not have their spouse just get 50% is they do what's called like a survivorship option, where they take a cut while they're alive. They'll take 75% while they're alive of what they should have got, but when they die, their wife gets what? What do you think? She gets 100% of his 75%. Yeah, she gets the same thing he was getting, right? So you can go 100% you, but when you die, your spouse gets 50. That's the way that their default set up. That's the way that most people have it pay out. And when you bring that up in the first place with an older guy or girl, you're gonna sound very intelligent, and they're gonna start to think, okay, well, this guy knows what he's talking about. I'm gonna stop having all these internal thoughts about, him just being here to sell me. I'm just gonna listen up a little bit, right? So, when you bring that up, you ask him, have you planned out how it's going to pay out yet? Loss of pension. Typically, most pensions, Stephen Shilly, you'll take 100% while you're alive, and your wife will get 50. That's how yours is set up, right? I haven't set it up, Vince, but yeah, that's what most of my friends have done. That's how mine's, yeah, that's how I'm gonna do it. Okay, so that's when we look at loss of pension, right? And then guys, besides those two options that they can pay out as, there's a couple more that are just a little bit different, but they all work the same way. There's no way you're getting 100 while you're alive and your wife's getting 100 while you're dead, unless you take a cut first. Now, I will tell you, there's a few strong unions still left, like the railroad union down south. When I went down there, I actually saw paperwork where he did get 100% and his wife 100% too, but that's because their pension fund is immaculate. You know, the carpenters in Pittsburgh, it was like 71% funded. A couple guys I just sat down with the other day out here for the carpenters, it was like 59% funded. You know,
What was
so
that called when the wife gets 100? Is that survivorship? or-
when the wife gets 100, yeah, as they call it, it's a survivorship option. And that's why it's good when you're sitting down people, especially in person, to get them to pull this stuff out. You know what I mean? Hey, okay, yeah, do you got documentation on that? That way you can act like you're kind of, you know what you're talking about, but you can also learn at the same time. You can see some facts for yourself. A lot of things I learned were from doing those types of actions. But loss of pension, guys, when you pass away, you know, what's your pension going to pay you, Joe, when you retire? What is your pension going to pay you out? He's gonna be like, oh, my pension's supposed to give me $4 grand. Okay, if your pension's supposed to give you $4 grand, what is that a year? 48,000, right? So you and your wife can live comfortably off 48,000, yeah? Oh yeah, with my 401k and stuff. Yeah, my wife has a 401. Let's just say they don't have anything but the pension. That's what typically happens. Yeah, we can live off of 48,000. We're ready to adjust. Okay. Now here's the thing: when you die and the pension goes to her, she's gonna get what? 50%, right? So we're actually losing half of that amount. We're actually losing 24,000 a year because she's not getting $4 grand anymore. She's getting $2 grand a year or $2 grand a month, which is just 24,000 a year. So that's how you can say loss of pension, not loss of income if they're older. Loss of pension. She's losing 24 grand a year that she was just living on when you guys were retired and living off your pension full.
So would you say 60 to 70? Or like-
60 to 70 for sure, but if it's just, you know, I just do it when I feel it. When I can tell someone's like 55 and above, and you know, I know it's a big deal. I know they have no life insurance yet. I know they've never been seen before by us. Like, you know, no 401k, just this dude and his pension. It makes sense to look at this, you know. So yeah, they recommend have 1 to 3 years of your income, whole story, whole 9 yards, 24 to 72,000 right there. At least just 1 year, Joe. That way she can adjust and lower her lifestyle. You know, we don't want to have anybody be out on the street drastically changing their lifestyle or living a lesser quality of life because of that 24K being cut out. Because Joe, if you guys are living a $48,000 lifestyle and all of a sudden she has to live that same lifestyle off of half the amount, it's going to get tight for a little bit, right? There's going to be some adjustments. It's going to get uncomfortable for a little bit. We don't want that. So that's why they recommend have 1 to 3 years of your pension loss there. Any questions on that, Joe? Any questions on why the union saw it as an area of concern? But anyway, let's just say this guy has, back to the whole thing I was supposed to show you guys in the first place. Let's say he has a $100,000 mortgage, and you know, let's just say he's 50 right now. Let's just say there's 15 years left on it, right? Okay, so here's the thing. He's got 100,000 right now, so he thinks he's good, right? But meanwhile, his 50K is going to be eaten up for the funeral, and 100K, if he dies right now, will be eaten up from the mortgage. So he's actually still lacking. He's actually still lacking money right now. He's actually still missing. If he died, his wife would still have 50K left in this mortgage to pay, right? Or she'd pay off the whole mortgage with this 100,000, but she'd still have to pay his funeral off. Funerals want the money first. But if when I asked him at the end, if I asked him what area means the most to him, just this. And he said that the income, the loss of pension means the most to him, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spend his money on that. Well, Joe, your funeral's covered, $50,000, $100,000 there. And then, you know, if we really wanted the 3 years of your income protected, we'd still be short just about 20,000. Whatever way you can wrap it up and kind of nonchalantly tell him, you know, you did a good job, nothing wrong you did, nothing wrong any of my guys or girls did, but we're still seeing some serious gaps here. You know, this needs analysis wouldn't be good at its job if it didn't help me point out these gaps. I wouldn't be good at my job if I didn't use it to help point out these gaps. These are some serious gaps. You did a great job grabbing the 100, but there's still some gaps. So as much as I want to get these gaps covered, as much as I want to blah blah blah, right? You go into qualifying questions. So I'm going to say this one more time, guys that have no videos on. Please turn your videos on. Lisa, Sean, Ronnie, Hisha, I hope I don't butcher your first name there. Catalano, hope I didn't butcher both names there. But anyway, that's the plan, right? That's the needs analysis so far. But getting a 50-year-old more whole life is expensive, right? So I'm going to show you guys how to pay more now. This guy's gonna, that's what I would tell him, Joe, when I'm writing down these options. Joe, I'm gonna show you how to pay a little bit more now to save and gain a whole lot later and then practically double your money. Here's how, right? So let's say we want to cover this guy's, let's just say we're doing the mortgage and the funeral and we want to get another 50K in here, okay? So if you get this gentleman another 100,000 the whole life, at 50 years old, non-tobacco user, what's it gonna be? 50 years old, male non-tobacco user.
What'd you say again? What did-
50 years old, male non-tobacco user.
225.17.
225.17?
Yeah.
Sure, 225.17. Okay. So obviously this guy would be paying $360 right there, which isn't bad. I would tell him, obviously, when I show him option A and option B and option C, I would say option B is going to bring you up to 225. That's how much, on top of your 135, that's how much most people in your age group are spending for their life insurance to protect everything. Kind of price condition him a little bit, but now for forever, he's going to have 200,000 the whole life. That's going to cover the funeral. That's going to cover the mortgage. And it's going to cover almost all 3 years of his loss of pension right there alone. Good to go. Never has to worry about it ever again, but it is a little bit expensive, right? So I would even show 100,000, then I would show 50 as well. But let's start with the 100, guys, okay? So I'm going to tell him, Joe, here's the thing, Joe. You've had this $100,000 policy for almost 10 years now. And remember how I mentioned earlier in term and whole, when I was going over the different types of life insurance, that there's paid up options and cash value with whole life. You can use your cash value to stop paying and still keep a big amount of your original death benefit. Right. So somebody showed me for a 40-year-old male in the rate book. Does everybody have a rate book, first of all, on this virtual? Because I can pull one up if y'all don't. I'm just going to start sharing my screen right now and pull this up for you guys so we don't have any misunderstandings here.
Lynch, what did you say? Like, spend a little bit now to save a lot later? Is that what you said?
Spend a little bit more now.
Okay.
Spend more now so we can double your money later. Or save more later. Save more in the long run. For the rest of your life. Spend more now. Doesn't really matter word for word. Spend more now. Spend a little bit more now, and I can show you how to double your money and save a lot over the course of the rest of your life. Save a lot more over the rest of your life. So we got 100,000 right here, right? So guys, if you can see this part of the screen for a male at 40 years old. Can everyone read that? See how it says reduced paid up option is 69,000? I want you guys to really follow me for these next 5 minutes because it's going to be a lot of math here in a few seconds. So for this policy that he got when he was 40, I would say, Joe, for being a loyal policy owner with us for so long and paying your bill on time and everything, they're going to actually allow you to do what's called a reduced paid. They're going to allow you to do what's called a reduced paid up option on your policy that you've had for the past 10 years. At 65, Joe, 15 years from now, when your mortgage isn't a concern anymore, you won't have to pay for this policy anymore. You can take your reduced paid up option. You can stop paying forever. And the company's going to let you keep 69,000. We'll just call it 70 so we can, stay nice and even here. They're going to let you take a $70,000 death benefit and walk away from the company and never pay us again. There's his loss of pension right there, right? Now, Joe, on this policy today, if you were to go with option A, and I'll go over option B the same way, I'll do the same thing for option B if I was with him. you'd be able to do, they're gonna allow you to do the same thing at 65. So at $100,000 whole life policy for a 50-year-old, what's the paid up option at 65 for that? If you look down here in this rate book, what's it say for a mil? 51,200, we'll call it 51 grand. So here you go, for this one, the reduced paid up option. I'm like afraid to use green, like it won't show up. At 65, I'll write it just like that. It's gonna be 51,000. Hope you guys can see that on the screen there. You probably can't. Screen's a little small right now anyway.
Quick question.
Yes,
Whatever's written in green is for 50,000.
yes, the number in green is 50,000, yes.
So wouldn't that change if you're doing a $50,000 executive life over select life?
Yes, the executive life option would give him a smaller reduced paid up. Yep. Yep. But what I'm gonna get at here, guys, is whether he gets the 50K for $100 and something or whether he gets option A for 225. If you compare what this gentleman will pay for the rest of his life to cover the mortgage and have a $200,000 death benefit, if you compare 225 and 135 together and him paying till he's dead at 80, he's gonna pay a lot more into it than he would by taking both of his paid up options at 65. And he's gonna get a lot more out of it as well.
Like 360.
Yeah, 360, right? So now this gentleman at 65, he stops paying and he keeps 120,000, right? So at 65, he takes his paid up. He gets to keep 121,000 as a death benefit. All right, so how much is 225 plus 135?
360.
360, exactly.
No, there's some change.
$360.
Okay, so do 360 times 15 more years, because that's how long he's gonna pay till he's 65, right? How many more years to your 65, Joe? 15. So do 360 times 12. That will get you your annual premium
4,320.
times 15.
64,000.
So he's gonna pay 4,320 a year
64.8.
times 15 more years. He's gonna pay how much into it?
64.8.
$64,000 for 120. So I told him I was gonna double his money today, right? I just doubled his money. He's gonna pay 64K into it. He's gonna get 120 back out.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Now, let's say he just says, well, Vince, all I really need is 50,000 more. You know, I'm just gonna go with 50,000 more of whole life and just pay those for the rest of my life and keep 150,000, or I'm gonna keep 120,000, you know what I mean? Even, dude, no matter what way you look at it, with these paid up options, he's gonna spend less and get more than paying full price for a full death benefit for the same amount. Like, how much is 20,000 the whole life for this gentleman? I don't even think 20,000 is an option on there, is it? Who knows how to find out how much something is that's not a pre-selected option on this rate book? Nope, not yet. I'll show you guys together. You ever forget your laptop, or you're down and out without a laptop? Go to this rate book, you can find any price you need. Whole life regular, right? Whole life is what? 0 to 30K, right? So this dude's 50 right now. 4684 is the decimal for him, okay? Now, this is saying at the top, and this is how you read other people's policies in their books too. If you ever have a universal policy and you're trying to show them how much the cost of insurance is going to go up, and you pull out their cost of insurance page, they're going to show you in decimals because they don't want the general public to be able to see it go up. But 4684 is the rate per $1,000 worth of insurance. So if we're trying to figure out how much 20 grand is going to be,
Where are you doing this? Can you share your screen?
I am, but I think it froze on the TV right there.
Oh, you gotta disconnect and connect it again. That's,
Go to the whole life regular in the back of your rate book. You know what I'm talking about, right, Chili?
Yeah, it's right here.
Whole life regular. Whole life regular.
This is preferred.
Whole life regular, because we're doing 20 grand, right? I'll show you in this rate book right here.
this is this?
I think it's
Whole
page
life rate.
21.
Oh, man. Fear factor is always on in our, in any Samsung picture frame TV that stops sharing, we get a fear factor right on. We get Joe Rogan with hair right away.
I was thinking about that. I was like, that's Joe Rogan.
I thought somebody was unmuted or something. There's somebody started fighting.
Apparently it's trying to connect again. There we go. All right, if that thing freezes again, no problem. They can see me live. So you there, Mace?
Yeah.
Whole life regular, right? Non-tobacco, 50-year-old male. What's the decimal? 4684, right, class? Right, so 4684 times the death benefit per 1,000, which if we're trying to find 20 grand, what are we gonna times it by? 20, exactly. So 4684 times 20, what's it equal? 4684 times 20, what's it equal?
936.80.
936, but it's an annual rate, right? It says annual rate, so divided by 12, 78 bucks a month.
Wow.
Okay, so let's say this gentleman says, screw you and your $121,000 paid up option. I already got 100. I'm just gonna take a $20,000 policy today or from some other company. I'm gonna pay that out for the rest of my life. All right, well, let's take, what's the monthly premium for the 20,000?
78,
78 bucks. What's it up here?
135.
135. So add those two together. 135 plus his 20 grand.
213.
213. And when do people usually pass away in this world? Let's just say 80. Let's say he goes to 80. Let's give it a, the average, 80 years old. That's 30 more years of pain, right? So multiply that by 30. It might not be more, but it might.
6,404.
No way. We
You times
gotta
12
get the
times
annual
30,
premiums. Yeah. Get the annual premium of that amount.
It's 28,104.
28,104.
For-
Both of these annual premiums.
Oh, no, that was just for
So-
the 20.
135.42 plus what the 20,000 is costing, which is what?
I have a total of 76,704.
What is it?
76,704.
Boom. So this gentleman, if he just wants to take a 20K policy and pay less now and ride that out to get the same $121,000 death benefit, to get the same death benefit for the rest of his life. If he lives till 80, he's gonna pay how much, Gina? 71,000?
76,000.
76,000. And what's he paying to do the paid up option here and keep 120?
64.
He's paying 64, but how long is he paying that till? Just 65. Not the rest of his life. Not when he's on a fixed income. Not when you're retired, Joe. You pay more money now while you have money now, and you will spend less in the future and keep the same death benefit. That's just a minor example. I mean, you could look at this any way. You could do it with the $50,000 paid up option. Hell, you could sell him the 20 grand right now, and maybe he only wants what the 20 grand's paid up option would be. Maybe you can sell him on the fact that, hey, you can take the 20 grand right now, keep your 100. The company's gonna allow you to take your paid up option. You gotta let them think it's like a privilege. Like a lot of people don't realize that every whole life policy has paid up. They don't realize that. You gotta make them think it's like a privilege. Hey, you've been a loyal customer the whole time. You've been loyal to us. We're gonna allow you to take a paid up option at 65 on both of these policies today. If you were to grab this option C, right? So who knows how to find out what a paid up option is gonna be? What if you're there at his house and he doesn't have his policy? Or what if you're on Zoom and he doesn't have his policy and you don't know what his paid up at 65 is gonna be on both of these, right? You don't know what it's gonna be, right? What if it's 75,000 and it's not pre-selected in the rate book? What if it's not 50? 30 or 100? What if it's one of these custom options that's not in the rate book? Do you know how to find paid up options without that custom, without that preset options?
And if it's over like 100,000.
So here, so go to the back of the rate book. If everyone has the rate book out, there's a part of the rate book that says paid up and cash value. Ronnie, I'm guessing, did you take a rate book when you were out here? Okay, Ronnie, so I'm gonna send this to you right now.
Life paid up at
It's the
65.
it's the very last
No,
one.
not life paid up at 65. It'll say
Paid up
options.
values per thousand, right?
Paid up values per thousand. Thank you.
Very last one, bro.
Page 42 for those of you that have your rate book.
92. You know, man, bro.
Shay, do you have the digital rate book, Shay?
Yeah.
Saved?
No, I don't.
Okay, let me try to, this isn't my computer, so it's a little bit
Got
tough.
it,
I'll just
bro.
text her pictures. I'll just text her pictures.
No, you're good. Let me see real quick, because I think I have it. I can find it in like 2 seconds on this Outlook right here. Rate book. Yep, got it. All right, guys, I'm gonna forward this to some people right now. I'm gonna forward it to my MGA team again. And then Ronnie, Thomas, who else would need this thing in this room right now? A digital rate book. All good?
If you could send it to me, that wouldn't hurt. I would appreciate it.
Awesome. So I got Sean Stewart. Who else needs
May I
one?
get a, may I get a copy, please? Sharon.
Yes, yes, Sharon. Okay, Sharon, what's your email?
It's MS and then Sharon, SHARON _ and the number 2 at Yahoo.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Yep. Who else? We had Noah. It should just be Noah, last name at Davina Agency, right? Yep, there you are. Who else said?
Did you get me
Gina?
by any chance? Thank you.
Yep, gotcha, Gina. Who else?
I also need one.
Jack Rossman. Okay. Last chance. Everyone good? Cool. Sending it now. So anyway, if you go to the back of this rate book, when you pull this up, it says paid up values, right, per thousand, right? So this guy, you know, let's say we're trying to find out what his pay up option would be if he took a $20,000 policy, right? So he's 50 years old. So you go to this rate book, and I'll do it on the screen so you guys can follow along. All right, so let's say we go to this rate book. We go to the back where it says paid up options.
It's page 42.
So you would just do 20 times 510.
You do.
Hold on, let me find it real quick.
For 50?
I'll tell you, hold your horses, hold your horses.
15, because it's 65.
I was just taking it per 1,000, 50-year-old times.
It's
Cash
all
values
in
back
the
here.
back. It's
You can
second
find
to
the
last
cash
page.
value in the same way. So paid up values here. I'm sorry, Jennifer, what'd you say?
So you would take just.
In my version, it's all the way in the back. It's the second to last page.
Sure. Yep, found it.
I think.
All right, guys, so they got non-tobacco and tobacco here, right? Okay, so this gentleman's 50 years old, and we want to find out what his cash value is going to be at 65, okay? So you guys see this 512 number right there? For the 65 column?
Yes, sir.
So what does the top say?
20 at 65.
It says paid up values per thousand. So you take 512 times what life insurance death benefit per thousand? 20, right? So times 20. So 512 times 20. There you go. His paid up option will be 10,000 at 65. He can have 120 until he's 65. Then he can stop paying and keep 110. Spend more now to save more money later. It's especially valuable when you're selling to younger people, because like they want to get term for the big things, and you know, buy term, invest the rest is heavily drilled into some people's ears. But with our Select Life, it's such a good rate. If you just load this dude up on some Select Life, he can have a term life death benefit amount while he's young, and at 65, keep a whole lot for the rest of his life and never pay another dime. Term life ain't gonna be able to do that for you in any way, shape, or form. Or you can take his cash value.
That'd be 110,000.
Right. and he only pays for 15 more years instead of paying for 20,000 for the rest of his life and 100,000 for the rest of his life, right? So you guys, when you feel that this is right, when this guy's the right age, now, of course, I would say after 50, these paid up options don't get too valuable. They more or less, unless it's $100,000 policy or it's a $50,000 policy, I wouldn't really be showing cash value after 50 or 55 or paid ups because they're not paying long enough to really make this thing that worth it. When you're older, you pay more per month for the cost of insurance than what's going into your cash value account. So, I kind of brought us to the top with the 50-year-old example. This is for 45-year-olds, 40-year-olds that got money, they want to buy term, they want to protect assets, they love the whole life, they love that cash value feature and how it grows cash for them. They're just, well, hey, I don't want to pay this for the rest of my life, or that's really expensive. Well, Joe, you can pay more now, double your money later. Cash free, tax-free cash value in there, or you can pay the full price for whole life somewhere else. I mean, if you like the whole life and you want the whole life, we got two options. You can blow money on term for another 15 years, or you can blow money on some whole life for the next 15 years and get a guaranteed return out of it.
That's fine,
What
bro.
option do you want, man? Yes, sir, Stephen Chili.
Senior grade, it doesn't have cash value or reduced paid up, right?
Yes, it does.
Oh, it does?
It has really great cash value, actually.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And does it have reduced paid up too?
I'm not sure about the reduced paid up. That's a great question.
I remember, I thought someone had mentioned a while ago that senior graded doesn't.
Yeah.
No, it does.
Cash value.
Yeah, but look, man, I wouldn't be in for cash value at that age.
It has cash value for sure. Just doesn't show you in here. I'm not sure why.
I don't know if it has a reduced paid up though.
Senior
Yeah, see,
graded.
it goes all the way to, what, 69? Actually, it goes all the way to 80.
I was gonna say, like, you can go to cash values back here and it looks like they're showing it to you right now. Cash values per thousand. For a 60-year-old, that's a senior life policy. It shows right there, what is cash value to be after 5 years? What is cash value to be after 10 years? What is cash value to be after 20 years? And it's 65 and it's 70. So make sure you're following along, guys, with the rate books at home, or this is gonna be like Chinese to you. There's even paid up things back here, look, for 60 and stuff. It just shows them for being at 70, right?
So it doesn't have cash value after 65.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Because like you see over here, like at 65, it's blank.
At 65, it stops because you're looking at an issue age of 65 years old now. So how are you gonna have cash value at 65 when you bought the policy at 65?
Right, that's what I'm saying. So after 65, there won't be a cash value.
No, there will be a cash value.
20th year.
They're showing you what the cash value would be at 65, but if he got this when he was 65,
Oh, okay.
it wouldn't be anything, right? So it still shows you what the cash value would be after getting it, but it only shows you for 70 years old. But it also, what's this column say? 5 years after you get it, 10 years after you get it, 20 years after you get it. So you can figure out right now, if a dude gets a policy when he's 70, you can tell him what his cash value is gonna be 20 years later, just by using this 567 number right here.
Oh, gotcha. That makes sense.
So let's do an example. Let's say a 70-year-old balls out, he gets 30 grand of senior life, and he wants to know what his cash value will be in 20 years. Let's do 567.19 times 30, because it's a $30,000 death benefit.
17,000.
17 grand for the old man. There we go. Not bad at all. So there's cash value and paid up options for seniors. You just got to go find them manually, which is why we need to know how to use this rate book. And when you know how to use this rate book, you know how to read other people's policies. Sometimes people aren't believing you. They're having a hard time believing you about how their universal is going to go up and how the cost of insurance changes. And then you pull out their universal policy and there's a table that says cost of insurance. And this is what it will say. It will say stuff like that. It will say it will have decimals there for every age for the cost of insurance rates per 1,000 of insurance.
Right.
And you go to 65 and 70 and you do the decimal and you tell them, yeah, Joe, look right now, Joe, your cost of insurance is only $30 a month for this 50 grand. Oh, yeah. And they're charging you 50, right? Yeah. Now, if we go forward to age 65, 20 years from now, look at what the company's telling you your cost of insurance is then. $290, right? So they're telling you right here in black and white that your cost of insurance for this policy at 65 and every year after is gonna be $200 plus a month. And it raises every year, right? That's how Universal works. There's there's a rate for every year because you're just a more of a risk. Your age and health isn't locked in like it is with whole life.
Premium table.
That'd be in their premium table. Yes, Mace. Yep, right after their premium table, it'll say cost of insurance table. I wish a lot of us were in here. I would show you guys that. I really got to get that scanned in, but like I'm saying, I think me and Gio are going to start running a lot more of these sales coffees. So my next sales coffee, I can do that with you.
Yeah, I
can show
wish
you.
I could see like a universal policy. To see
Go grab my schedule out of my room. I got a universal policy right in there.
where's your schedule at?
Matt might be in there in a third interview, but we'll go over it. We'll go over it later, brother. We'll go over it another time. It's as simple as what we're just looking at. It says cost of insurance per 1,000 of a death benefit. And there's a number, there's a decimal for each one of their ages. And you can show them what his cost of insurance is to State Farm right now and what it's going to be at 70. And it's always going to blow his mind because the cost of insurance at 70 is going to be sky high. And you're going to be like, Joe, they're telling you right here, your cost of insurance at 70 is going to be $300, but you're still paying 60. Where do you think they're getting the extra cash from? Yeah, like I said, proactively 5 times already, they're getting it from your cash value. And they're going to drain, that's going to drain, the difference is going to keep draining your cash value. And Joe, this is just the cost of insurance, Joe. If you look on this other page on your universal policy, it's not just charging you for cost of insurance. What else do they charge you for with universal policies? Administration fees. There's administration fees, monthly administration cost.
And the only way that levels off, like the cost of insurance with your cash value is if your stocks actually hit, because your cash value has to fluctuate, right? Basically, if your stocks hit, then it covers the cost of insurance, basically.
Yeah, it's, universal policies were designed to build a shit ton of cash based on their projections, so that when your cost of insurance is high when you're older, it will pay for it long enough to get you to your 80s.
So the only way you're making money in that is in the range before your cost of insurance
Starts to
reaches
eat
that
away at
monthly
the cash.
premium.
Yeah.
So what happens if your stock is not doing good, and you have a cost of insurance that's like $300, $400?
It's gonna keep, and you're still paying 60. It's gonna keep taking the difference out of your cash value like it's built to do.
And what if?
And it's gonna that cash value is gonna last till you're 78, like they projected it to. That's what most universal policies try to get you to, 78. Or, it doesn't go as planned and it's gonna last you till 61 instead. When your cash value runs out, they'll give you a call. They'll say, hey, Mo, we need X amount of dollars right now to keep this funded properly for the rest of your life. Or you can take a very low death benefit for what you're paying now.
Wow.
Or you can just, or this shit's gonna drop. That's the proof in the name of universal. Flexible premium adjustable life. You ever see that before?
Yeah.
Why do you think they can adjust your life? If a life insurance company is going to flex your premium and adjust your life, do you think it's going to be for their favor or your favor? It's going to be for their favor.
Right.
All right. But that's how they draw you in. Based on our projections, we can get this thing to grow more cash value. We can flex your life death benefit up real high. And, someday you won't even have to pay for it. We can adjust, we can flex your premium down low.
So flex and adjust, how do you explain that with a variable? How would you explain it?
Variables sometimes say the same thing. Variable life, adjustable death. You ever see that? They're all the same. They're all the same. You won't really see a policy anymore that just says universal life. Those are the old original ones that everyone got sued with, and most insurance companies came back around to those policy owners and replaced them with flexible adjustable ones, which is just a new improved version of universal that has some better outlooks and invested better, but they still have the same risk. Yes.
So one of the gentlemen I was sitting down with, so he was looking at the whole life insurance as an investment vehicle. He's like, so you did say it's like a bank account of steers basically, so how for how long can I put the money in there, and for how long does it have to be sitting in there? Can I take it out whenever I want to?
2 years.
And stuff like that. I was like, man, you can, but it's not like an ATM that you can put money in there and take it out the next day.
Yeah,
Right.
Joe. Great question, Joe. Great question, Mo. With the cash value, it doesn't start growing right away. They need a little bit of time first, and they'll collect enough money to start growing it. But it actually, you'll see your first cash value amount in your policy after your second year is over.
So before second year,
And you can see that on these things. If you go to if you ever got a life insurance policy yourself from us or any whole life company, there's a cost of insurance and like cash value page. It will always say like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. The first amount is shown after when the third year starts, right?
right,
So the first 2 years are non-existent. Same with child policies. If you look at a child policy whole life and you open it up, the cash value doesn't start growing and the paid up options don't start showing up until the 7th year. And I always keep a scanned document of one of our whole life policies with that exact page, just to show them, hey, Joe, if you had real whole life, like if all my ammo is not working, Joe, if you really had some whole life, this is what your cost of insurance page would look like. One death benefit forever, straight fixed cash value and paid up option growth. This is what whole life looks like. This is what yours looks like. Decimals, projected this, initial death benefit that. No. Whole life just says this death benefit for 120 years for this price. Right. But I don't want to get stuck on universal. I want to care to the virtual people as well. I want to make sure that nobody has any questions on anything I went over here. Does anybody have any questions on the rate book? Because the last thing I want to touch base on is term to 100 policies.
I do have a very
Oh,
quick
sorry.
question
You guys
about
may be
us.
walking the whole thing on this TV. Hold on, Gina.
I'm holding.
Speaker. Okay, go ahead, Gina.
You can hear me good?
Good enough.
All right, that sounds good. So I was going over this with Christina the other day, and I just wanted to clarify. So when you're talking about cash values in the 5th year, it's the 5th year after you have the policy, right? So when you're doing the calculations, if you can't get cash value for the first 2 years, but this is still the amount that it would be at the end of 5 years of having the policy, not 5 years of having cash value, correct?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, thank you. I
Mhm.
appreciate
Yep.
that.
Yep, you're welcome.
Question, Vince.
Please speak up if this confused the shit out of anybody. I will go back through it. Is Alex, what's up, dog?
So my cash value, let's say after 8 years, this happened to me the other day, but I wasn't sure how to explain it. But she was asking, so can I take my cash value out? But why do I have to pay that back?
So that's a great question. So Mary, you can definitely take your cash value out. Can I erase this, guys?
you can, yes, sir.
We need that spray. What's up, G?
Water rack, that's good.
It's because it's brand new. Shoulders popping.
Dude, that was
Sean
your
knows what that's
shoulder.
all about. All right, so basically, you can take your cash value out, Alex. You can take it out after 2 years. It will start growing for you. You can take it out at any time you want. You have 2 options on how you take it out. You can for one, you can take a loan out. This is where you still leave a little bit of cash value in there. You take a loan out. Let's say you have, let's say you got that $100,000 policy we were just talking about. And let's say this person's, 45, so they got about, maybe they got about 15,000 in there at that point, because they got this, 15 years ago. But let's say she says, well, Alex, I want all my 15 grand out. Do I have to pay it back? Well, you got 2 options. You can take a loan out for 10 grand, 11 grand, 12 grand, 13 grand. As long as you just leave a little bit in there, you can take a loan out. You don't have to pay it back. But after 1 year, if you don't pay it back, there will be a small interest rate of 8% a year on the 12 grand that you took out. But honestly, Mary, and someone please bust the calculator out for this. If we took 8% a year of interest on 12 grand, let's just say we took 10 out to make this a lot easier,
800.
800 a year.
Yeah.
So Mary, you can take a loan out on it and you'll pay 8% interest a year if you're not paying it back, because I'm pretty sure if you're actually in the process of paying it back, you don't pay interest, right? Interest only happens when you're in arrears, right? When you're behind.
After a year, it still charges.
So even if you're paying it back? Okay, so yeah, so Mary, if you don't pay it back after a year, you will start seeing $800 a year fall off of this, but it's not gonna fall off if, you know, if, you know, when you do die, they're just gonna take that $10,000 plus that 800 a year off of your original $100,000 death benefit. So it's not that bad. You know, it's like designed to be a way better personal loan, a way better option than going anywhere to the bank. You know, your credit's on the line, everything's on the line, you know, you're tied to somebody. Here, you take 10,000 out. Yeah, you're 45 years old. Yeah, 800 a year might get tacked onto this if you never pay it back. But I mean, if you live another 30 years times 800, I mean, what even is that?
24,000.
24,000, right? So 24,000 on top of the 10 that we took out, right? Okay. So $34,000 is your total, you know, big ass loan because you didn't pay it back and the 8% interest tacked onto it for the next 30 years. But still, you die at 75, and instead of getting 100,000 because your policy is still active, you only get, you know, you'll still get a whopping 66. You'll still get a whopping $66,000. And you never paid that loan back. You never even touched it.
You guys might have missed what he said there, but that was key. He said what? He said it won't be penalized against your credit. Typically, when you take a loan, right, it's gonna be penalized against your credit. What did he say? You take it against this, it's not gonna affect your credit, right? That's key right there.
If you take a loan on your
Let's check
cash
it out.
value, it doesn't have to, it has, your credit score has no bearing on it. You just-
Exactly, it doesn't affect your credit. Right, so that's the one option I'll explain to Joe or Mary. I'll be like, yeah, Alex, you can take a loan out at any time. You don't have to pay it back. You can take a loan out, and if you don't pay it back, just 8% interest a year will be added onto it if you're not paying it back after a full year. But Joe, that's really, if we, let's say you took 10,000 out of this, Joe, what's 8% interest a year on 10,000? That's just $800. So let's say you don't pay it back for the rest of your life. That's 34,000 total that you're in debt now. But your policy is still active because you left some in there, and you'll still get 66 grand when you die, and you never had to pay that 34 grand back. And that's pretty awesome, Joe, because that 100,000 was never your money in the first place. You still doubled your money. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yeah, if you calculate the amount of premiums that they're paying into it, it's like probably the amount of premiums they pay in is still probably less than the 66,000 they're getting paid, right? Depending on.
Yeah, I mean, if you're paying like, you know, if you're paying like, let's say this dude got this, you know, when he was like 25 or 30, you know, he'll probably pay another 30 grand into it. So, you know, if you look at that total, like he's still my only net 30, but we're not looking at like investments and all that. We're looking at like, what is the big number I will get when I die? You know, but I'll tell them though, I'll be like, but Alex, you don't have to just take a loan out and deal with this interest rate. You don't have to pay it back. You don't have to do that. This is what a lot of our people do that are financially savvy, that are good at saving money and investing, because we don't want you just to not pay this back. This is for emergencies only. We encourage you to either use this for an emergency or investing it into something that's going to get a return. Let's say you took out 10 grand out of here, dumped it into, or 20 grand out of here, dumped it into a mortgage down payment for a flip house you want to flip. You flip that house, you make money, you pay American Income back before the year is over. Shouldn't take you much longer to flip a house if you're flipping them. Yeah, you pay your 20 grand back into the policy, your death benefit's restored, and you just siphon 20 grand out of this thing and put it back in and put it into an investment, and you never paid what that whole time? What do you not pay for cash value life insurance? You don't pay income tax.
And then you just let it grow a little more for a couple of years and borrow more and more for the next time.
Yeah, you don't even gotta let it grow. It's back in there again.
Wow, so that's a.
Your cash value's back in there again, man. You don't gotta let it grow. You restore the cash value and you restore the death benefit.
So the only way that's like gonna happen if you return that in the first year, if he doesn't, then it's gonna stop growing.
It will keep growing the whole time you're paying premiums into it. Only thing that happens after 1 year, if you don't pay the loan back, is just the loan just gets bigger by that 8% a year interest. But you still left a few grand in this thing, and you're still paying your premiums, so there's still money going to that cash value. It's still growing even if you take a loan out.
So the
Cash, whole life will always grow It will always stay alive if there's cash value inside of it. Because a portion of your premium is going towards the cost to insure you to the company, the remainder portion of that premium is going towards the cash value. So as long as you leave some money in here, this policy will last forever. But that's why universals collapse when the cash value runs out, because any whole life policy or universal policy with no cash value will not stand. It will surrender. So that's the other option here, Alex. Maybe you just want to take all the money. You don't have to deal with a loan. Let's say you're 65, Alex, and you just want all your money and you want to run. Okay, here's your cash value at 65. It's going to be 33 grand. At 65, you can take this out and do what's called a full surrender, Alex. Take it all out, and the policy will be surrendered. It will dissolve, and you can keep all your cash and don't gotta owe anybody nothing.
And no taxes on
You good question. Steven said, and no taxes on that. So this is where you will pay taxes on cash value life insurance. If you don't do a loan and you do a full surrender, you will pay taxes on the amount of interest that your cash value earned. That 4.5%, you will pay income tax on the interest earned. But guess what you won't pay taxes on?
income tax on the interest.
On the interest, but not the premiums paid into it. Because you already paid taxes on those premiums paid into it. They're not gonna double dip you.
And that's income tax.
That's income tax, right?
Can you repeat that one more time for me, please?
Which part? How long ago?
Just like the last like minute and a half, like the income tax part.
Okay, so just taking a full surrender pretty much?
Yeah, that part.
Okay, so if you take a full surrender, right? Let's say you don't take a loan out and you don't deal with the whole 8% interest on your loan after 1 year about paying it back. And you just want to do what's called a full surrender. This is your second option. You got 33 grand in your cash value because it's a $100,000 policy. You take what's called a full surrender, take it out of there. You take the 33 grand out. A whole life policy with no cash value will dissolve. This isn't what I would tell Mary, but I'd be like, you'll do what's called a full surrender. You'll take your full cash value out, and the policy and you'll surrender the whole policy, Mary. And you only pay income tax on the interest that's been earned on this cash value. So you know how our cash value grows at a 4.5% fixed interest rate every year? Right. Those earnings at 4.5% on the cash value, that's what you'll pay income tax on, because that's like a gain there. Now, I'm not sure about what they call short or long-term capital gains. Those are taxes that you pay on investments. So I don't know if this is classified as an investment. It might be. You might, I mean, I've never told anybody this, but you might also pay a long-term capital gains tax on the interest earned as well. But basically, you'll never pay interest on the actual amount of premiums that went towards that cash value, because a portion of the premiums goes towards the company's cost to insure you. The other portion of your monthly premium goes towards the cash value. So that other portion of the premium that went towards the cash value, all those little portions, you'll never pay income taxes on those, because you already paid income taxes on those when you got them in, when you got your paycheck from Uncle Sam.
And you get to decide whenever you want to pay back,
Whenever you want. You have a whole year interest free. They won't charge you interest for a whole year. If you don't pay it back after a year, they charge you 8% interest a year on the loan. You can pay it back whenever you want.
So
It's not designed to be an investment, Joe. It's really just designed to be an emergency fund, but it's also designed to be a far more better option for a loan from anybody out there, from a bank, from anything. The union set it up this way because they know that we want to get loans. You can spend it any way. Fix a hole in the roof, this, that, and the other, flip a house. You're not tied to any creditors. You're not going to hurt your credit score. You don't have to pay it back. And if you don't, it just falls off your death benefit when you die, which is pretty cool, Joe, because that was never your $100,000 death benefit in the first place.
Do they have to send a check to the company, or can they be like, okay, what's the difference, whatever I have to pay, just add that to my monthly bill?
They'll get a hold of them and they'll say, hey, we need this much money from you. They'll let them set up payment plans. They'll tack on, usually what they do is they'll have an amount get tacked on. Guys, if we get disconnected, I'll send a link to the group and we can hop back on, because I still want to go over Term 100. But what they'll do is they'll typically, what I see with other companies and ours is your anniversary date, like when you got it. Let's say you got it in June. They'll try to get you to pay like more money every June. towards the cash value loan. That's what I usually see. You pay your normal premium all year. And then just that one anniversary month in June, they're gonna want you to just shove another 100 towards the cash value loan or something, something that makes sense.
Gotcha. It's cool, bro.
Any questions on this, guys?
Yeah, I actually have a question. So whenever they, say you take out some of your cash value, not all of it, you say like you said, flip a house and then put it back in. How many times can you do that? Like how often could somebody do that?
As much as they want.
Just
Okay.
as long as they pay it back, right?
Mhm.
Could you, I guess it don't make sense, but could you, like, let's say they're in the act of paying it back, but what if they want to borrow more of their cash?
They can.
But
If they want to put themselves in a hole and do what every American did in 2008, they can keep borrowing against more credit. That's fine.
But obviously they can't borrow a lot probably because they didn't pay back the full.
They can borrow whatever's left in there, yeah. Whatever's left in there besides the loan. Yeah. Or they can take it all out and forget about it.
I think that's exactly what Tommy told me to do with that guy with that farm. He uses cash value life insurance policy and he's paying it back off the profits.
Exactly, yeah. And you could show that same guy with the farm, the whole pay up thing I showed you. Here, Joe, you own a farm, you're earning a lot of money. Let's pay more now until you retire while you can afford to. So we don't gotta pay shit when you're retired. But look, you'll still be able to keep a lot of the death benefit, or you'll even have more cash value. My little spiel I went on about paid up options at the very beginning, you can spin that to be the same spiel about cash value. Like $100,000 whole life policies, they grow the most cash value out of any of our policies. Get two $100,000 policies right now, so you can take more cash value at 65.
You think it's better to have one big policy or multiple different ones?
I think it's better to have one big policy. It's always better to have one big policy. It's always gonna be more favorable to you.
You get selection, right?
Select is pretty equal. Like you could grab two Select Life policies and you'll pay the same that, like if you grab two $100,000 Select Life policies, you're gonna pay the same thing you would have for 200,000 in the first place. But I feel like you'll earn a little bit more cash value if you just go with the big 200 in the first place.
Out of one policy.
Out of instead of $200,000 ones. Because like those rates, like 100,000 and above, they don't change. Like the rates per thousand is like the same. Like, like that's the same as senior life. You ever realize like 3,000 of senior life can be $30, 6,000 of senior life is $60. You ever realize that? It's like the same all the way up. Sometimes people are like, can I get more? I don't want to just, I don't want to get, I want to get more later. Can I raise this up later? Yeah, Mary, honestly, if you're still 61 years old, if you want to tack on an extra 5 after this whole COVID rule is over, you'll pay the same amount you would have for 10 today. So if you do 5,000 plus 5,000 a whole life as a senior, that premium you get for two $5,000 policies would be the same premium that Mary would pay for one $10,000 senior policy.
Bro, can you, after you're done, can you get the senior grade whole life back here? Because I have a question about that.
Yeah.
I messed up and then.
All right, we'll go over that. We'll go over that next. Any questions on this, guys? I'm gonna do one more thing real quick. This is super easy. Stay with me here. Stay with me. We're gonna do what's called term level to 100. Who knows about term level to 100? Yeah, Shay. There we go. Who else? Raise your hands high. No? Oh, well, I'm glad I'm bringing this stuff up right now. Okay. Alex, that's what I thought. I was gonna say, Alex, you better raise your hand, Alex. No. All right. No questions, we're moving on. I'm gonna have to send another picture. I'm gonna send this to the group so you guys can all save it. Because this shit ain't in the rate book. This is like an unknown secret policy that I feel like AIL wants nobody to have or something. So that's how good it is. So let me go ahead and send this out to you guys.
Insider information.
Insider policy, man. Insider information. Boom, 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 boom. I know here we go, right there. Boom. Chicago 2021, sent. Term to 100. Hopefully it's not blurry. Let me know when you guys get it. Everyone got it? Yeah? All right.
Pretty blurry,
It's blurry?
at least to me. I don't know, y'all the same?
It's blurry.
It's insider information, that's what it is.
It sucks because like,
Well, you can screenshot it.
I did, and it still loads blurry. It's weird how that works. Let me try one more way.
This isn't in the right book?
No, it is not in the right book.
I think it's because it's a screenshot of a screenshot. That's why.
Vince, did you send that via email? How did you send that?
I sent that to the Chicago group me, but I can send it via email as well.
Thanks.
Let me just do that, honestly. It'd probably work a lot better if I could just send it to everybody I just sent this to before, like, if I could just.
You
do
can
the
put it
same.
in the chat.
In
You
this
can
chat?
download it. Yeah, you can download it into the document into the chat and everybody can just grab it.
Not, no, you could do that. I don't have it on my computer though. I don't have it on this computer right here.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and
So is this just a term that lasts?
Vince, I downloaded it from the group me. I can send it in the chat for everybody.
okay, please do, but I hope it's clear.
If once it's on your computer, if you zoom in on it, it looks fine.
Okay. Can you guys see it like whatsoever? Can you make out at least the numbers?
I mean, vaguely, but if like Noah said, if you zoom into it, you can kind of guesstimate what they are.
Try this one more time. I'm gonna do it directly from my photos. Maybe this will help.
So looking at it on the computer, if you zoom in, you can see it clearly. I think it's just a little small on the phone. That's the only thing.
Okay.
Yeah, still can't, brother.
Okay, so everyone's got it on the computer in this chat then? Cool.
Yes, thank you.
All right, cool. All right, guys, so let's get started with this real quick, 5 minutes. Okay, so term level to 100, okay? So this term level to 100 is going to be used for, typically it's going to work the best for people that are, above age 40. 40 years old above that use tobacco. This is a smoker's dream policy right here. Okay. Reason being, this term level to 100 has no tobacco rating whatsoever. None. None. So term level to 100. The death benefit will stay level to 100. The premium will stay level to 100. Never changes. Here's how I introduce it. Stephen Chile, can't afford it, too much, too expensive. Okay, well, you shouldn't smoke then. No, okay. So let me tell you something, Stephen. I understand where you're at. I'm gonna do an I can't afford it close. I'm gonna hit him with a few, 3 or 4 closes, 3 closes down the line. I can't afford it. Okay, still not going for it, but he's still letting me talk because he still freaking wants it. I sold his ass, right? So here's what we're gonna do. And that's why you guys should never be afraid to do that. If they're still there, if they're still really what they're saying is I can't afford it, but please, Stephen, can you show me a way why or how I can afford to at least have something protected? Because you scared the shit out of me with this needs analysis. And this whole pitch has been an emotional roller coaster. And the day after I leave, it will be non-existent in his head. So we got to do this now. We can't be scared to stay in the zone and stay in the close for a while. It's not going to get them to kick you out because they want it. That's why they're still on the computer. If they didn't want it, they'd hop off. But Stephen Chile, here's what I'm going to do for you. I know you use tobacco. Okay. We have this special type of policy right now. It's not even on my computer because it's not even supposed to be, offered that much because of how special it is. Okay. What it's going to do, you said you're really healthy, right? You answered all those questions honestly and truthfully, right?
Yeah.
You're healthy. Okay. So this is a product that's called a level to 100 policy. It's actually designed for smokers like you who don't have any health concerns at the time. Okay. What it's going to do is it's going to stay at the same price till 100, and it's going to stay the same death benefit till 100, just like the whole life. The only thing it doesn't do is have that cash value. But honestly, Joe, honestly, Stephen, you're a little bit older. We're not really looking at life insurance for an investment right now. We're looking for a death benefit, right? Right. So it's going to stay the same price till 100, last till 100. You don't think you're going to live past 100, do you, Stephen?
I mean, it'd be nice, but I doubt it.
You doubt it? Yeah, usually guys are like, fuck, no, you know? But, you know, okay, so I'm gonna write you down some options for this. It's, the biggest thing is it's not gonna come with the tobacco rating, Joe, so it's gonna save you a lot of money today, okay? But you gotta be healthy. You sure you answered all those honestly, right? Yep. All right. Reason why I say you gotta be healthy, class, is because you kind of do. They're gonna underwrite this thing like just as hard as they underwrite like a term or our select life. Like I'm talking like if this dude has diabetes, you're better off smacking a $20,000 whole life on him because he's gonna qualify for that much easier and the rating's gonna be non-existent. And if he even made it for a term 100, he'd pay more for this term 100 now than he would for the whole life because the rating is bigger. Ratings work in tables, guys. Table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4. You guys have seen that on your rate books. You've seen that on the health and weight chart, height and weight chart. Every table has a decimal where this rating would apply to. It's not just for height and weight. It's for every health problem. They assign a table rating to people. When you get a mod, you ever see how it says table 2 rating, table 3 rating? The table 2 rating for a term 100 is going to be much more a month than a table 2 rating for a $20,000 whole life would be. So our policies, the higher you go, the higher class you go, the bigger the rating you face, the harder they are to qualify for, but also the cheaper they are per thousand to start. But sometimes it ain't worth it to get this man a term 100 because his rating's gonna be way bigger than whole life would have been for 20 grand. I'm just saying, so I don't sell this to anybody who has anything beyond like high blood pressure, some anxiety, and maybe the dude has asthma. I don't go like if this dude's got sleep apnea, if this dude's overweight, if this dude is, you know, you'll know. Just text your manager. Hey, term 100 for this guy, is it worth it? He's got this, this, and this. I used to text Brody Evanson every day. He'd be like, no, don't even do it. No, don't even do it. The other thing about term 100 guys, highest commission in the contract. Highest commission in the contract. What do you need, bro? What? Come in. What's up?
Is the pipeline meeting at 11 still?
Yeah.
Okay, I have someone in the waiting room, he said it's not started yet.
Okay. 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 Who do you got in there?
Grab it.
Go find Gio. Maybe Tommy's not running it today.
Okay.
I would apologize if that's true. Yeah, we haven't been kicked off yet, so it's probably not. So highest commission and highest renewals in the company with this, okay? This is the highest commission, so it's not a bad policy, all right? So get out your rate books, show me what $50,000 tobacco user would be for a 40-year-old. Let's make this 45. Blow your socks off. 45-year-old tobacco user.
45-year-old tobacco user male.
Tobacco user male.
109.88.
109.88.
That's non-tobacco user.
That's we're using tobacco.
Holy hell, mates, tobacco. Tobacco.
145.80.
145.80. Woo! Big increase, right? 145 a month. How about 30,000?
30,000 for a tobacco user.
Yep, and then give me 100.
30,000 for 45 is 119.13.
119 a month. How about 100,000?
100,000 tobacco user 45 is $249.42.
Okay, now let's look at the term 100 rates. I'm gonna write you down some options, Joe. And I don't say the word term because we just beat the shit out of it the whole time. So I'm trying not to say term. I keep saying level to 100, level to 100, level to 100. $100,000 level to 100 for a 45-year-old. What's the decimal in there, everybody? What's
25.74.
25.74 times what?
100.
Times 100 for option A. What is it?
2,574 divided by
Divide that by 12.
$214.50.
$214. So select life rates are so good that it's not too much of a difference, just about 35 bucks. But when you get down to these ones, here's the whopping difference. Now give me what 50,000 of tobacco term 100 would be for 50,000.
$107.45.
$107.25.
Whoa.
How about 30,000?
How are you getting the math again for this?
Same way we got the math for the same exact. You gotta look at your term 100 page, brother. The decimal that I sent you in that picture, the term 100 picture. You got to use that decimal for their age, and you got to do exactly what we did when we got into this meeting. You take the decimal times the death benefit per thousand, and that's your annual premium, and you divide that by 12.
For 30,000, it's $64.35.
Woo!
Bro, sign me up.
Ooh, good day to be a smoker, right?
That 30,000 is literally half the cost.
Half the cost, more commission. As long as he's got not too crazy health problems, like I said, high blood pressure and under, thank you, sir. So I just laid these out. We just argued about how expensive these are for three different closes back and forth. And then I throw this out on the table. Do you think he's gonna buy? After how I set it up like that? Hell yeah, he's gonna buy. Any questions on term level to 100?
But you have to fill out a paper out for that, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you for reminding me. You have to fill out a paper app for this. Keep paper apps with you. Keep paper apps with you. If you don't have any, have your manager send you some from the office. We got plenty of them back there. We have too many. So please, we'll send you a whole stack.
Can you do this if you don't have a paper, what's it called, application audio? Can you just? do
No,
it
you
on-
have to, no, you can't do it on the computer. There's no option for it on the computer.
No, just save it there and then just when they hop on, just do it on paper.
That's illegal. When you do a paper app over virtual, you're supposed to send them the email for the virtual signature, the authorization email. In that email, if you go to, if you ask the Department of Insurance, if you do a paper app over the computer, they're supposed to physically see you writing this paper app. They're supposed to see it. Like, I'll be like, Joe, this is such a special policy. I got to use a paper app. Here it is right here, Joe. I'll share my screen with you. It's the exact same thing as the electronic app, Joe. It's just on paper. So, and I'll put my camera down and I'll show him I'm filling it out. And when I send him the email for the signatures, all I do is I put in where the signatures are on the paper app, where we usually sign, I put in virtual signature - Mo Harris. Virtual signature - Stephen Shealy. Joe, you okay with that? This is your HIPAA form. Read that nice and clear. That's why you gotta have good cameras. Want me to fax this over to you, Joe? Yeah, please. Okay. Here's a picture of it. Let me send you a picture real quick. Is this your phone number? Great. Here it is. Any questions on the HIPAA form? Sign the HIPAA form. Paper HIPAA forms are in here as well. You'll need a paper app, a HIPAA form, and that's it. You'll still need an oral if you're in person.
What about QRs?
If you need some QRs, you gotta have some paper QRs as well.
So if you're doing a paper app, everything has to be on paper.
Yes.
QRs and all.
Yes. Unless you just leave there and tell them I'll send you a DocuSign QR, that works too.
Bro, I heard someone say this, if they're smokers, do you need an oral in them?
You need an oral whenever the computer tells you need an oral. Sometimes it requests it for smokers, sometimes it doesn't.
Should you just do it in every in-home?
Nope, just do it when the computer tells you to. Simple as that. But for all level 100s, I would do an oral. Because they still want to check if this person uses cocaine, has HIV or AIDS. That's the only two other things the oral tests for besides tobacco.
So which box do you check with the?
You check the blank box that has nothing next to it on the paper app. You check the blank box that has nothing next to it. It's gonna look like this. It's gonna be a blank square. You check this, and there's a little line underscore next to it.
Yeah.
TL to 100 is the proper abbreviation. You punch in the price manually, and then guys, I'm not even adding accidental, but accidental, same price. Punch it in on your laptop, whatever his accidental would be. You can go down to ADB, you can check that box, you can put 867 there for 100,000 accidental as well. And you can tack that on as well. Waiver of premium is inside the picture I just gave you. If you want to give the guy a waiver of premium for the term level to 100, the math on that is inside the picture I just gave you.
Where is this level to 100 option on the e-app?
It's not on e-app, brother.
Oh, it's
It is not on
paper
e-app.
for math.
It is just, yeah.
So what's the B200 on there?
The B2000 is a special accidental death benefit. It's worthless if you ask me, compared to the regular accidental. All it does is it gives you 20 for any accident. It gives you 3 different things. Let's say you get it, let's say you
Like a bus, a boat.
yeah, let's say you type in 20 to the B2000. It'll give you 20,000 for any accident. 40,000 for common care, for auto. And then I believe it like triples for the common carrier, like boat plane. It'll be like 100 or 80 or something like that. I don't know what the benefit of B2000s are. I think the one benefit is you can get people, like you can give people that are past 70, I think, and it's like cheaper in some ways.
So question, can you do this for a senior?
Yes, you can do it for a senior, but they better be able to answer all the questions on the super combo with no issues at all. The
Right.
regular super combo.
The regular? 'Cause
Yes, the
seniors, they
regular.
have the-
I know. You have to answer the regular questions for this.
Oh, so I would just add a super combo.
Like literally a senior above 60, they're gonna underwrite the shit out of that person.
Yeah.
For a term level to 100. Same with the whole life. You can get a senior whole life past 30K,
Is there a reason why this is the highest commission? Just,
probably because the company makes the most money off it. I'm not sure. Ask Steve Greer.
Is it more than like the whole life? Is it more than 50%?
Yep.
Wow.
What is it, like 60?
We're getting some insider information from Vince.
Look in your contract, guys. Look in your agent contract. If you go to your agent contract, it will tell you the commission line. Does anybody on the screen have any questions on this level to 100 before I pop out of here?
So, bro. Next thing you know, I've got this much paper to stack right
No questions on the screen? Going once.
No, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Going twice.
Yeah, Vince, it says that the term to 100 is a 60% commission, but then like the year 2 and 10, then it's like 5%, which is higher than all the other ones.
Yep, 5% renewals instead of 3.
Oh, no, there's no Zoom application for me. I'm gonna be stacking up like big papers right next to me.
Mo's only gonna sell term.
So what's
Just beat the heck out of term.
what's hold on, what's whole life say for the commission? 57.5? For an agent? Or is it 60?
60%, and then year 2 and 10, well, every year after it's 3% renewal.
So you get 2% higher renewals and the same commission as whole life. What is it compared to executive life? Executive life is 52.5, right?
It says 53.5.
53.5?
And then it's 2% renewals.
So any questions on this amazing policy? And how to beat smokers who are over 40? This thing can beat people under 42. It's just usually it's gonna beat them for these lower options because these are more pricey for whole life and they're lower.
when we did that, what was
Like I remember I gave a senior that had like immaculate health. He was like 60 years old. I gave him like 5,000 a term to 100 and it saved him like 20 bucks a month. He was like, oh, okay. I even gave my mom's boyfriend, he was like, he's like, my parents are older. You guys are probably gonna be shocked. My mom's in her upper 60s, but this gentleman was 70. And I gave him 10,000 a term to 100. And it was like 105 instead of like 130 they wanted to charge him.
What was the decimal you used for that? What that you seen on?
It's
your
for
phone?
his age in the level to 100 picture.
I couldn't see it. I was just wondering what it was.
I'm not sure what the decimal is at. That's Mr. Shealy, the decimal.
What age?
Just the example we did.
For 45-year-old male, the decimal was 2574.
It's game over from now on.
All right, guys. Thank you for attending today. I appreciate your all attendance and I hope you guys learned a lot. If you did, give me some shout outs in the group. Let Tommy know I'm doing a great job and I will see you guys next time.
Thank you.
This
Thank
was
you
fun,
very
Vince.
much.
Thank you.
You're
Have a great
welcome.
weekend.
Good job.
Hey, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Have a good one, guys.